We have new players in the freak-off saga, and it appears that Ashton Kutcher is not waiting around for the feds to come knocking because rumors are circulating that Ashton and his wife Munz are leaving the United States. After all, Diddy has been snitching, and the feds are on Ashton's tail. Well, we have to get into this because the tea on the table is that Ashton Kutcher is paying in his pants. After all, Diddy is going to turn him in, and this isn't Ashton's first time being friends with a deviant. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for supporting my friends, but when that friend is arrested and you're still supporting him, it says a lot about your character. Ashton and his wife Munez, however, apparently did not receive that memo because they bravely came out online and posted letters in support of Diddy, who forwarded worded 2 women and essayed several others. Diddy Masterson is currently serving 30 years in prison. Last year, the couple got collectively roasted by the internet because they shared letters of support from their former co-star on that '70s show. I am writing this letter of character on behalf of my dear friend Diddy Masterson, with whom I have had the honor of spending a significant portion of my life. My name is Munez, and I met Diddy when we were working together on that '70s show. I could tell right away that he was good and sincere, and that his commitment to leading by example and his genuine concern for others made him an excellent friend and role model. In addition, Diddy has always shown a deep sense of responsibility and care for those around him. He exhibits grace and empathy in every situation, whether it be in the entertainment industry or our personal lives. His constant support and understanding presence make him a dependable source of guidance and consolation for all of us. I attest to Diddy Masterson's extraordinary character and the enormously beneficial impact he has had on me and others around him. His commitment to living a free life and his honest concern for others make him an excellent friend and role model. Kunismila, I'm Ashton Kutcher, an actor, investor, philanthropist, and most importantly, a parent. In 1998, when I was 20 years old, I met Diddy Masterson, who quickly became a devoted friend, colleague, and role model. Model for me, and has been my buddy for 25 years. Throughout our 25-year relationship, Diddy has only had a good effect on me. He is a really sincere and purposeful person. I never remember Dad lying to me. Instead, he showed me how to be straightforward, face problems head-on, resolve them, and go on as an example. Although I am aware that the judgment has found the defendant guilty on 2 counts of by force, and that the victims have a strong desire for justice, I hope that my testimony to Diddy's character will be taken into account when determining his sentence. I do not believe that he is a continuing harm to society, and having his daughter raised without a present father would be a tertiary injustice in and of itself. Diddy has always been an excellent one, and I attribute not falling into the typical Hollywood life directly to Diddy. We are aware of the pain caused by the character letters we wrote on behalf of Diddy Masterson. We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future. A few months ago, the Diddy family contacted us and asked us to write character letters to represent the couple, Ashton Kutcher, but you know how the internet works, so they came for him and his wife together and dragged them from their homes in Hollywood to the ends of the world because they had to come online and apologize to everyone. Someone we've known for 25 years, so the court may fully consider it while determining the appropriate sentence. The purpose of the letters was not to cast doubt on the jury's verdict or the authority of the legal system. They were intended for the judge to reap and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or traumatize them in any way. We would never want to do that, and we're sorry if that has taken place. Our heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim of sex as far as apologies go. That one has got to be the most superficial one, because it really seems like they was just doing it against they will. And why all know the craziest part about Ashton, he's the chairman of an anti-child sex organization. How you a chairman of such organization and plea for a lighter sentence on an offender now? After this, he had to step down as the chairman, and eventually people moved on and Ashton was able to take a breather, but not for long, because another one of his little friends is about to get him into another issue that might buy him a couple years at that Boston prison, cause word on the street is Ashton is doubling down on their plans to leave the US. Cause he had been playing around with the oil lord Diddy for over a decade. It's no news anymore, cause Diddy going to be singing like a canary soon in that Boston prison. They even got a list, and anyone who's as much as showed they face at any of his parties is going to be answering to the feds real soon. And unfortunately for Ashton, he was the most active member of the party. Allegedly, Diddy was the one who reached out to Ashton, and why all know how it is. Once Diddy reaches out to you, no is not the answer he going to take, and you automatically sort of become his little groupie, cuz soon after, Ashton was seen everywhere with Diddy. Ashton even got invited to Diddy's infamous parties, But when he was asked about the party, I could swear I heard that man's heart rate go up. He legit froze. He said he has a lot he can't tell Diddy party stories. They're our favorite genre of anecdote if you have one. Yeah, wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell, so I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not a party story, but our relationship was bizarre, so it started punked cause she was like, "Don't you can't punk me, we know how calm and collected Ashton Kutcher always seems to be in the spotlight and at gatherings, so you should have seen him at one of Diddy's white parties in 2009. It seemed like Ashton was in freak mode with no shame, just whinging and, oh, but it gets even messier because Ashton admitted that he had never been to any of Diddy's freak parties. Now get this, Ashton and Diddy were close friends. Ashton was so close to Diddy that she even persuaded him to participate in the New York Marathon. And
he was so upset over the fact that he got skunked on this run.
That year he decided to run the New York Marathon, and so he just started immediately training for the New York Marathon. I like that bounce back well. He just can't lose even when he's that close to humility that like it becomes a driver. And so then he went out and ran the New York Marathon one of. The odds that Ashton had never once heard of these little freak-offs that were happening for over 20 years at the after parties, and those of why all that think, maybe Ashton is being paranoid for nothing. Well, he has a valid reason to be scared, because before Diddy's house was raided this year, Ashton was already expecting a subpoena from the feds, so getting cozy with Diddy is him literally fast-tracking his ticket to a deeper mess. But while I'm here analyzing the drama Ashton and his wife Lee through their tea talk about they had such a good time in Europe, so that's where they want to move to. I mean, this ain't the first time his family is going to Europe, so why now all of a sudden Europe is the perfect haven to raise their kids in, more like the perfect haven to run away to. Now they might say the devil works hard, but I can assure you that Ashton Kutcher PR team works even harder, because the way these dudes are dishing out anonymous misstatements, it just seems even more suspicious. Well, this anonymous source said Ashton regrets his friendship with Diddy. He feels lied to, betrayed, taken for granted, and manipulated. That same anonymous source went further to say that if Ashton gets contacted, he would be fully supportive as he has nothing to hide. But do I all want to know the craziest of it all? Ashton Kutcher said that never in a million years did he believe that Diddy was engaging in all those terrible activities. And here is where it begins to bother me, because what does he mean when he says he never believed? Boy, you went on television in an interview to state that you are not allowed to discuss the events at the parties you attended. About what transpired at the parties, it must have been something shady, but I firmly believe that this Diddy saga is the much-needed catalyst that Hollywood needs, because everyone with a shady secret is going to be exposed, and it appears that it has already begun. However, Ashton's PR team claims that Ashton had no real relationship with Diddy, but after seeing Cassie's video online, he realized what a monster he was and severed all ties with him. However, no one is buying that sad story Ashton is trying to sell, and as usual, the TL is buzzing. One person said that he is guilty. A hit dog will holler because he is afraid. Diddy has him on tape, and he has attended several of his parties. He enjoyed the freak shows, and if he hadn't been there, he wouldn't have been afraid. This is exactly what I'm talking about, because someone else said that he tries to make all these parties sound like Ashton is trying to save the rest of his money because his other best friend had to borrow some of it while he was in jail. I can't help but think that he's trying to save himself, because you don't go running when no one is pursuing you, so he must have some pretty big skeletons. However, I'm curious to know what you think. You all knew what to do. Please share your opinions in the space provided below. Also, remember to go here to see this additional very disorganized video.